travel back in time to the cradle of civilization, the birthplace of history itself, the regions of Palestine and Israel. These lands, nestled in the heart of the Middle East, have been home to diverse cultures and civilizations for thousands of years. From the Canaanites who first settled here over 4,000 years ago, to the mighty empires of Egypt, Assyria, and Babylon, this region has witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations, each leaving its unique imprint. Fast forward a little, and we find the Greeks and Romans stepping onto the scene, each with their distinct influence and power. From the grandeur of Herod's temple to the strategic fortresses of the Romans, these lands have served as a canvas for these ancient civilizations, their stories etched into the very stones. But it wasn't just the allure of fertile lands or strategic locations that drew these civilizations. It was also the spiritual significance of the region. It served as the birthplace for three of the world's major religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, making it a focal point for religious and cultural exchanges. As centuries rolled on, the region fell under the rule of various empires, from the Islamic caliphates to the Crusaders, each contributing to the rich tapestry of history that makes up Palestine and Israel. This land, rich in history and culture, became the epicenter of world events, shaping the future of its people. Fast forward to the 16th century, the dawn of the Ottoman Empire, a period of profound change for the region. This was an era of expansion, of power, and of transformation. The Ottoman Empire, with its seat of power in Istanbul, stretched across 3 continents, and right in its heart lay the land of Palestine. The Ottomans ruled Palestine for approximately 4 centuries, from the early 16th century to the end of World War I in the early 20th century. During this time, the region experienced significant developments, especially in terms of administration and population. The Ottomans introduced new laws, systems of taxation, and land regulations, which in many ways reshaped the social and economic landscape of Palestine. However, the winds of change were blowing across the world, and the Ottoman Empire was no exception. By the late 19th century, the empire was in decline. It was during this time that European powers began to take a keen interest in the region. And in the midst of this, Britain emerged as a significant player. The British Mandate period, which spanned from the end of World War I until the mid-20th century, brought about a new era of foreign rule in Palestine. This period was marked by significant political and demographic shifts. The Balfour Declaration of 1917, a public statement issued by the British government, expressed support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This declaration played a pivotal role in shaping the future of the region. The Mandate years were also characterized by an increase in Jewish immigration to Palestine, fueled by the Zionist movement and the harsh realities of anti-Semitism in Europe. This influx led to heightened tensions between the Jewish immigrants and the Arab-Palestinian population, laying the groundwork for the conflicts that would follow. With the end of World War I, the stage was set for a new chapter in the history of Palestine and Israel. The Ottoman Empire had fallen, the British Mandate was in full swing, and the seeds of conflict had been sown. The next phase of history was about to unfold, a phase that would forever change the face of the region. As the world recovered from the ravages of war, the formation of the State of Israel marked a turning point in the region's history. The roots of this formation trace back to the late 19th century, when the Zionist movement began to gain traction. The movement aimed to establish a homeland for Jewish people in response to widespread anti-Semitism. In the heart of this movement was Theodor Herzl, who believed that the establishment of a Jewish state would provide a solution to the Jewish question in Europe. The Balfour Declaration of 1917 lent support to this idea, promising British assistance for a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. Fast forward to 1947, the United Nations proposed a partition plan dividing Palestine into 2 separate states, one for Jews, one for Arabs. Jerusalem, being a city of significance to both, was to be placed under international administration. However, the Arab League rejected this plan, leading to a civil war in Palestine. This was the prelude to a significant event in 1948, the Israeli War of Independence, also known as the Nakba, or catastrophe, to the Palestinians. In May that year, David Ben-Gurion, then head of the Jewish Agency, declared the establishment of the State of Israel. Almost immediately, neighboring Arab states launched a military intervention. The war, lasting just over a year, resulted in an Israeli victory and a significant shift in the region's demographics. The aftermath saw the displacement of approximately 700,000 Palestinians and the absorption of Jewish refugees from Europe and Arab lands into Israel. The armistice lines drawn in 1949, known as the Green Line, roughly defined Israel's borders, but the contentious issue of Palestinian statehood remained unresolved. The 1948 war, a pivotal moment, set the course for decades of conflict and negotiation. As we delve into the late 20th century, we'll explore how this conflict evolved and the key events that have shaped the current situation in Palestine and Israel. The latter half of the 20th century saw a series of events that left a lasting impact on Palestine and Israel. As we journey through the timeline of these regions, it becomes evident that the late 20th century was a period marked by significant shifts, agreements, and conflicts. In 1967, the Six-Day War drastically changed the landscape of the Middle East. Israel, in a preemptive strike, captured the Gaza Strip and the Sinai Peninsula from Egypt, the West Bank, including East Jerusalem from Jordan, and the Golan Heights from Syria. This swift and decisive victory significantly expanded Israel's territory and brought a large Palestinian population under Israeli control. The ensuing years saw a rise in Palestinian nationalism and resistance, culminating in the First Intifada in 1987. This widespread civil disobedience movement against Israeli occupation was characterized by strikes, boycotts, and protests, marking a significant shift in the dynamics of the conflict. The 90s brought a glimmer of hope with the Oslo Accords. Signed in 1993 and 95, these agreements between the government of Israel and the Palestine Liberation Organization aimed at achieving a peace treaty based on the United Nations Security Council Resolutions 242 and 338. The accords led to the creation of the Palestinian Authority, granting it limited self-governance in parts of the West Bank and Gaza Strip. However, the turn of the century witnessed the Second Intifada, a period of intensified Israeli-Palestinian violence. The hope for peace that the Oslo Accords had stirred seemed to evaporate, leaving in its wake a legacy of mistrust and hostility. The late 20th century was indeed a tumultuous period for Palestine and Israel. It was a time of change, of conflict, and of fleeting moments of hope. These events, etched in the annals of history, continue to shape the current reality of Palestine and Israel. Today, the regions of Palestine and Israel stand at a crossroads, their future intertwined with their past. The current state of affairs is a complex tapestry of historical grievances, political maneuvers, and a deep-seated longing for peace and stability. On one hand, we have Israel, a technologically advanced nation, constantly pushing the boundaries of innovation, yet still grappling with issues of security and international diplomacy. On the other hand, Palestine, with its rich cultural heritage, continues to strive for recognition and sovereignty in the face of numerous challenges. The path forward isn't etched in stone. There are potential future scenarios that warrant exploration. Some propose a two-state solution where Palestine and Israel coexist as independent sovereign nations. Others suggest a one-state solution, a more integrated approach, albeit fraught with its own set of complications. The future of these regions is not a simple matter of conjecture. It involves real people, real lives, and real hopes. The complexities of today are the lessons of tomorrow, shaping the narrative of this ancient land. As the dawn of a new era emerges, the regions of Palestine and Israel continue to write their history. Understanding the past is key to shaping a better future. Join us in this journey of discovery and understanding. Subscribe and share the video for spreading knowledge.